everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Knit Chat. We are a knitting podcast coming to you, both of us coming to you this week from Southwestern Ontario, Canada. So my name's Noelle.
I'm Kelly.
And
it's good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's nice going away. It's nice being away, but like 4 weeks is a long time. It's nice to come home. It's nice to be back home in your own house and have all of your own things around you and and get to see your grandchildren again. So I haven't seen Zoe yet, but I'm going there tomorrow, so I'll see her tomorrow. So
Jacqueline posted the most beautiful picture of her today.
Of Zoe?
Yes.
And because Jacqueline loves fall, so she had all the leaves and all the
and it was just like that perfect glowy time of night when the sun was behind Zoe. It was just a beautiful picture. Yes.
So, and I know a lot of people, it's funny when a picture of Zoe goes on there, a lot of people remember when Zoe started off with Jacqueline and I doing the podcast, and she was just, I think actually the first podcast we did, she was only about 3 months old. And now she's almost 6. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen?
I don't know. I was marveling at this on the weekend. Miles is going to be 2.
I know.
Within the next 2 weeks. And I don't know where 2 years have gone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So
Haley says our weather must be mild, judging by the tops that you're wearing. And have you noticed that we're both back in sync? We are wearing green, both of us, and nobody obviously I haven't even seen Noelle since she got home, let alone talk to her. So,
and it's green linen.
It's both green linen. Yes, it is.
So,
yes.
So, well, I have these sweaters that I knit. I was saying to Kelly just for a few minutes before we went live here, and that I'm not going to push myself to finish anything for Rhinebeck because I've got 3 or 4 sweaters that I knit like through the summer, and I haven't worn any of them yet. So, like, other than I think I wore one just for the podcast or for pictures, but it's been too hot to wear any of them. So
yes. It is definitely warm. It is, okay, here's the weather report. It's still 23 degrees. It got up to 28 degrees here. This is October, friends. I can't believe it. And
I put my air conditioning back on.
I know. I don't want to say I'm complaining, but it has been
I put mine back on because every time I do this, I would be like dripping if I didn't have the air conditioning on. I thought I'll turn it off after and open up the windows, but it's not supposed to be this warm in October. And we had a couple of mornings, the last couple of mornings that we were in Nova Scotia, and it was 3 degrees in the morning, like 3 degrees Celsius. So it was cold. And then I come home and it's like heat wave. So
I know, but we're not complaining. We're not
complaining because it'll be snowing and then we'll be complaining about that. So
yes, but I am getting excited. I want to wear excited for wearing the sweaters. Fall is my favorite, hands down, my favorite season of the year. I love fall. I like all the things that come with fall. I like getting the sweaters out. I like having sweaters ready for fall. I love getting out, wearing those, like your Blundstone boots for the first time in the fall with our hand knit socks. I haven't even had socks on my feet yet. So I'm ready.
But we did have out east a couple of times. We did have our socks on because, like I said, it was pretty cool in the morning. So, and I think when you're that much closer to the ocean too, like you get the breezes off the water. But anyway,
Leona says
change the weather. So
no, we can't. No. Leona says it's 27 degrees in Nova Scotia today. Seriously, growing up in Nova Scotia, I don't think we ever saw a day that got to 27. But yeah, that's great. That's great. And oh, never mind. It's in Alaska. So it's 28 degrees Fahrenheit, Debbie says.
Fahrenheit.
I got excited. Yeah, that's 28 degrees in Alaska, but that's Fahrenheit.
That's sweater weather.
That's sweater weather. For sure. For sure.
Anyways, we want to welcome everybody. Again, we are a knitting podcast called Knits and Pieces. We sometimes don't say that. This is our Tuesday evening Knit Chat Cafe where we join all of our friends in the virtual cafe and just, seems like lately it's been spending more than an hour together.
Yes. And if you are watching us from a device that has a keyboard, you will probably notice that there's a chat running down the right side of your screen. Please feel free, even if you're new here, jump into the chat. It's a very friendly group. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to fire them off. And if we miss them, you type them in again, or
type them in
we have
again. Or if we really miss it,
some
send
helpers
us
in
an
the group
email.
that would make us aware. Yes.
Yeah. Or send us an email, because I go through the emails before the podcast and see if there's any questions. So if you've got a question that doesn't get answered, send us an email. That's the website.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. So, and we will get to them. But most likely, if you ask a question in here, someone that's in here will know the answer. So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
Sarah said, welcome home, Noelle. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be home. I miss all my knitty friends. I mean, I have knitty friends out there too. I shouldn't say that, because I did have friends out there, but I missed knitting with everybody under the bridge. And I know you guys had a few nice Saturdays where you actually did get to knit under the bridge. And I know that the Saturdays that we're going to be able to do that are probably slowly coming to an end.
No, probably quickly coming to an end, not slowly.
Yes.
The weather is supposed to turn this weekend. Yes.
Yes. And it is usually cooler there than it is
Yes.
elsewhere, because you're right by the water. So anyway, I'm glad to be home. Yeah.
Before
we got
we
a couple
leave,
of knitty things coming up.
Okay. I was going to say, before we leave the topic of knitting under the bridge, I want to share something here.
Okay.
This brings me so much joy. You have no idea how much joy this brings me. So I'm going to switch us around here so we can see it and talk about it. This was last weekend under the bridge. And clearly that's me in the foreground, but in the background is my daughter, Kendall, knitting with us under the bridge. This was like, oh, seriously, a highlight of, a highlight of my life. Never did I think that she would actually ever get around to picking up needles, and she was casting on a hat for Miles that day. And it does look like it was cold, but it's just that it was a little cool breeze blowing in from the north. But it's so amazing. We are so fortunate to have this venue to knit in underneath our bridge. If you see, there's a couple of little flags at the back of the bridge on the other side. That's the USA. That is how close we are here in Canada to our US friends. And Kendall was just here visiting for the weekend with little grandson Miles, and you'll get to see some pictures of him later. And it just brought me so much joy to be able to include her in our little knitty group. And it was great. Everybody was so welcoming, and all was good. All was good. So I just wanted to share that.
I wasn't here. I didn't get to meet her.
You know what? Kendall has never met you. That's what she keeps saying. She goes, I feel like I know Noelle so well, but she said, I've actually never met her. So, and yeah, you weren't here. You were busy off in Nova Scotia. But anyway, it was a great weekend to be knitting under the bridge.
We actually got home on Saturday, just not in time to come to the bridge.
Not in time.
So,
yes.
Anyway. Okay. So we usually always start with admin. So we do have a little bit of admin. We've got lots of prizes to give away tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go through. I only have 2 questions that came in through the email. So the first question was about knitting mosaic color work, and you can change. Like this was a viewer that said she was knitting the Alpine Bloom, but she was going to do it mosaic style. So mosaic style, you're basically just going to knit one color across the row, and then the opposite colors, you're slipping the stitches as opposed to knitting them. So when you do that, the only problem is a lot of mosaic patterns are made so that there's very, very few long floats. Like if you notice in most mosaic patterns, you don't usually ever carry that yarn across the back more than 3 or 4 stitches. So when you go to a regular pattern, you might see that. And because you don't have an extra strand of yarn there to catch a float, that was the question, was how do you catch the float? So I didn't know. I've never done that. So one thing that I thought is you could go in with a sewing thread later and just catch any of the ones that you think are going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did go and look, and she had actually emailed me back, and she said someone else in her knitting group had shown her a way to do it. Now, she didn't tell me what it was, but I did go and look, and I Googled it, and there is you can kind of catch those underneath floats under your new yarn when you go around. But I couldn't find an actual really good tutorial on it, like video tutorial, but I did find a written one. So I will pop that in either in the show notes or below the video so that you can see that. So there is a way to actually do that. Plus she also sent me a little tutorial and it is YouTube video on how to do mosaic knitting instead of stranded color work. So if you wanted to switch a pattern and do mosaic instead of color work, it kind of tells you how to do it. So I will pop that in there too. But does anybody else have any ideas on how you could catch those? So Haley said ladder back, but Haley, the only way that I've ever done ladder back before is when you've got 2 strands of yarn to be able to catch it. So I'm not sure if you can do that with mosaic or not. Like the whole thing is you have to kind of do it on the next row because you don't have a strand of yarn to catch it with on the actual row. So anyway, if anybody's got any ideas, you can just pop that in there, but I will put those other resources down in the show notes and the description box below. So, and then the only other question that I had was about our neck lights. Oh, and yes. I've got mine right here. And I don't know, Kelly, is yours the same as mine?
I actually happen to have it because it's sitting right here in the bag that I carried down with me.
Okay, so here is mine.
They look pretty similar. Of course they're the same. Why wouldn't they be? They do. Yeah, I think they're exactly. Oh, mine does not say Lumino Light, but it's certainly.
Okay, so mine says Lumino Light. Now, I honestly don't know where I got this because I think Ross actually bought it for me.
So, I got mine on Amazon and be happy to put the link, but I won't point this at the camera. They're bright.
No.
So.
And it does. It's got a couple of different
settings. Yeah.
So, and 2 different lights and the
and you can bend these in any direction.
Yes, it's really flexible.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think these were specifically designed for knitting. I think they were actually designed for like reading.
I'm positive they weren't designed for knitting, but they certainly work well for that.
Yeah.
And they just have a little charging port there. Yeah. And I don't know how long it lasts. I want to say about 6 or 7 hours though. It's a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I rarely have both lights on full brightness. I find that pretty bright. I usually just have to go to the first or second setting, but these are fantastic. Canadian, I know this one was $15.99. So
like I said, I'm pretty sure that Ross bought mine, so I don't know. But anyway, but if you go onto Amazon, if you just click in like reading light or knitting light, then it'll populate, and there's quite a few options there. Actually, I was kind of looking at that today to see if I could find the one that was mine, and there was a pink one, but I didn't get it. So, and the only thing you have to remember is keep them charged up so that if there's a power failure, you've got your.
That's right. That's right. So, keep your neck lights charged. Absolutely.
So, and someone said they also have them on Temu. I've seen that. I've never bought anything from it.
No.
I guess is it just like a service like Amazon?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So that was all as far as questions. Did you have any questions?
No.
No. Okay. So then we should go into prizes.
Let's do that.
Okay, so we had a couple of knit-alongs that came to a close. We have our monthly sock knit-along. So every month in our sock knit-along, we draw 2 prizes at the end of the month, one for a pattern by Natalie of Remembrance's Pottery and one for a sock yarn prize. So what do you want to do? The
pattern
first?
Winner first. I just want to say that in our September sock along to the end of September, 2,277 pairs of socks.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's I remember last year we wanted to have 23
pairs
in 2022, and now we've got over that already just at the end of September.
Yes. So, okay,
I'll bring it up. Okay. So the September pattern winner is Janet, who is JK Kinsey on Ravelry. And wow, she matched those socks perfectly.
She said they're yak socks. And she said that she purposely did vanilla socks and she let the yarn do the talking in this. But yeah, I love every single color. Yeah. We're talking about fall and sweater weather.
I know.
These are the perfect fall socks to wear with a pair of boots. Absolutely. Beautiful socks.
Okay.
And that was number 612.
Okay. So congratulations, Janet.
Okay. And then we have a yarn winner, and I'll show the yarn first. It's so pretty. This is by the company Mid-Knit Cravings, and this color is called Alstroemeria. And the strange thing is, and I just realized what the name is, I have these beautiful flowers in my garden.
Flowers, yeah.
And I said, oh my gosh, these are the exact color of these flowers. They're a late summer, early fall flower. I think they're a member of the geranium family. And now that I just read the name of this, I'm pretty sure they're alstroemeria
Yep.
flowers, because I was thinking how much this looks like these. So
And they are
beautiful.
amazing flowers. Like when you get them cut, like they last forever. Well,
I
not
didn't
forever,
realize
but for
that.
a long
I never
time.
even thought about cutting them to bring them in. They're so pretty, but this has just all of those gorgeous colors. And this is a 85-15 for merino and nylon. So it is so, so plush and soft. It's beautiful, beautiful yarn. Okay. And the
Okay,
winner
so
is
our winner is Heather. So Heather 1493 on Ravelry, and she was post number 866. And we've got some, looks like cabled socks, textured socks.
those are the Melisandre socks.
Oh, are
That
they? Oh,
was a
okay.
pattern.
Okay.
I made this pattern. I absolutely loved these socks. These were my hands down favorite socks for the longest time, until I felted them because I washed them in the washer. And they had a fair bit of alpaca in them, and I really just wasn't paying attention. So they're unable to be worn now, but I still cannot bear to throw them away into the garbage, but they really need to go. They're unwearable. But that's a beautiful pattern. And it has this incredible heel, because they are a toe-up sock, and it has a
Okay.
heel that I really, really liked. So I've actually used the heel in other socks that I've knit toe-up, because it's such a clever heel. And I don't know the actual name of the heel, but it's very cool.
Okay, so
Okay.
we'll tell you at the end of all the prizes how to get a hold of us. So after that, we had our quarter end for our Smash That Stash.
And
so the prize for that
is a bag to shop to increase your
to get
stash
more
again.
yarn.
This is one of our Knits and Pieces bags by Sandy that she makes for the podcast. It's a beautiful bag. I thought this one especially said Fall Sheep Festival. I don't know about
Oh,
you,
that's
but I
nice.
really think that these sheep look like they're going to a festival and they're doing some serious shopping. These are gorgeous bags. We've shown them before. It even has a really fun sheepy inside as well. Oh, actually, it's super cute now that I'm looking at it. These sheep are knitting socks.
Wow.
So cute. Really clever sheep. Anyway, so this is the prize for Smash That Stash.
Okay. So the winner for this quarter is Mindy, who is Mindy McCannon on Ravelry. And that was post number 2518. And we have 3,037 projects in there. That is amazing. That's amazing.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of smashing that stash.
Yes.
And so she's got this beautiful sweater in here.
This one was from Woolens and Nosh, and
okay.
It looks like a scrappy sweater, but it was the color. And I can't remember the name of the color. It was a really clever name. Sorry, but it was the Woolens and Nosh, and this is a small flax sweater that she knit.
That's cute. So
I think it's perfect for fall, and I also think it has like sort of a Halloween-y kind of feel to it as well. I really like it. Okay.
Okay, and then we also came to the end of our unit knit along, where we were partnering with Unit Toronto, and we made the Florencia tee. So you could make the Florencia tee, or you could make any of Claudia of Unit's patterns. So there weren't a whole lot of entries, but that's okay. But again, check out the patterns, because they are beautiful patterns. I know I've got a couple of them in my favorites that I want to get to at some point, you know, in my, I'm sure I've got the yarn.
You know, next week or something, when you've cleared your stash out, right? Or when you've cleared your whips off. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so the prize for that is also going to be a Sandy bag. So Kelly's got one there.
And I thought this one was really beautiful too. It's funny how I get very fussy about choosing the bags. I like them to go with the theme. And this one really reminded me for some reason of the Florencia Cal. I'm not sure why, but it just seemed, because maybe the yarns that we had to knit that one with were like soft and flowy.
Yeah,
and
mine was like that pale green, and yours was like a pale blue. And
yeah. So this is a very beautiful bag too. I love the beautiful yarn balls on it. They come with vinyl bottoms too, which are very nice when you're knitting at a coffee shop and you're concerned about putting your bag down on the ground.
Or at the bridge.
Or at the bridge, yeah. Yeah, at the bridge, you stand the risk of getting seagull or goose poop on the bottom of your bag, but this wipes off very nicely. So Okay.
Okay, so the winner for that was, and I just took this right from Ravelry. So this is, I can't read it, it's too small.
It's
Kansas.
the Kansas Clicker.
Okay, Kansas Clicker. And she did this child's, I know I looked at it, the Verd cardigan.
Yes,
And
by
really
Claudia
cute.
Q.
She's got
Mm-hmm.
all different color buttons that match the little flecks in the yarn. And it's just got some nice texture through the yoke. And, you know, it's always nice. I like knitting cardigans for the kids because it's, you can knit them longer. They can roll up the sleeves. So it can fit them for quite a while.
Yes.
So, but
that's a sweater I would wear. I like that.
And it, depending on what you did it in, it could look different. You could put like a fingering and a mohair in there, or lots of things you could do with that.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then the last prize that we have to give away is...
Well, before we give this away, can I just see a show of hands for how many people shopped at the Knitting Loft this weekend? There.
You know what? This is I'm going to tell you this, but this is terrible. This is terrible. So the sale started.
True confession time. Yes.
The sale started Friday morning, right? At midnight.
At midnight.
Okay. Yes. So I went to bed Thursday night, not even thinking about it. Well, I woke up, it was 2:00 in the morning, and I thought, I got up and I went back to bed and I thought, it's 1:00 in Toronto. So I'm sitting there, I've got my iPad out on the bed. We were in a hotel this night because we were on our way back. And I'm going through like, what am I going to order? Trying not to let the light shine in Ross's face from the iPad. And I might have ordered. So yeah. So
there's lots of waving hands in the chat.
I can honestly say, I think that's the first time I've ever ordered yarn at 1:00 in the morning.
Well, it wouldn't be a first time for me. I can.
Well, it was a first time for me.
Wholeheartedly admit that. I actually didn't place my order until the following day, the last day of the sale. I thought it ended. I guess it started the Saturday morning. So I thought it ended Saturday night.
It started Friday morning. It went from Friday morning to Saturday night. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because I was off Friday afternoon. Right. So I came downstairs Friday evening and I thought, oh, I've got to get this order in. And then I realized that I had until the next day. So I thought, okay, I'll give this some more thought. I'll come back. So then I ended up coming back the next day and I got my order in. And oh gosh, it was hard decisions to make. Difficult.
Yeah. I know. So, and then even when you figure out what yarn you want, then picking colors.
Right? I know. Anyway. It took me forever. Anyway, so this was the beautiful gift from the Knitting Loft. This is a 3-pack of yarns. It does come with a shawl pattern as well, but you are free to do whatever you would like to do with this beautiful yarn. This is 2 skeins of their Care Base, which is their, what's it called? The house brand. You say that for yarn? You say that like, no, for yarn that's dyed to a story. Is it house brand? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, am I thinking wine or does it apply to yarn as well? But anyway, so it's their Care and then it's also their beautiful mohair. And this color is stunning and it is called Vintage Pink. It's absolutely beautiful. So we had a lot of entries for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. we wish that you all could have an opportunity to knit with this yarn because it's gorgeous. So anyway, so the winner is, I want to make sure I bring up the right one. The winner is Cindy M. So Cindy said, another great podcast, ladies. Congratulations on 7,000 subscribers. Have plans to go to the Knitting Loft at the end of October. I know, but Cindy, when you go, you will just be like, you walk in there. I walk in there and I'm just like, I don't even know where to look.
I feel like it's just so overwhelming, right? There's so much. There's so much. So many options.
Just like, yep. So, but anyway, congratulations, Cindy. And I know you will love this yarn. So for all of our prize winners, you can contact us through email. And if we're sending you a physical prize, we need your full name and your mailing address. And for the pattern winner, I need your Ravelry ID. If you've got Ravelry, if you don't, let me know and we'll figure out how to get the pattern to you. So you can email us at knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com and we will get those prizes out to you. So congratulations to everybody. Thank you to everybody for participating in the CALs. It's so nice to go in and see all the projects. And I swear, every time after Tuesday night, I can't even sleep. I have all these things going through my head that I want to make, that I want to put in. And it's the one night of the week that I actually stay up late.
Yes. Well, another comment that I wanted to make too, though, about the Knitting Loft is we had asked people if they were interested to win the yarn, just to put something down below, in relationship to the Knitting Loft, or perhaps share a story that they had about the Knitting Loft, or, how, if they had been there or what they thought. And I tried to get in and to answer a bunch of the comments, and I know that you were working on some too, but there were a lot. But I tried to read as many of the comments as possible. And let me tell you, there were so many positive experiences with the Knitting Loft. And that just makes me feel great inside too, because it's so wonderful, not only for us to have a great experience, but to see the community. It's like so evenly spread that everybody who had shopped there had just such great things to say about Bruna and her team. And that's heartwarming too, because it's really nice to align ourselves with businesses that we feel good about, and that we know are treating everybody else well as well.
They have very quick shipping too. When you get your order in there, like at least, I mean, I know that some of it's to the, you're depending on postal services and things like that. But I know when I've ordered in the past, like I've had it within a few days. So,
yes. Very quick.
So I'm looking forward to my order coming this week. And
me too.
Maybe I'll have something new cast on next week. Who knows?
I bet you will. Okay. What's up next?
So we should actually talk about knitting.
Well, we should talk about what we're wearing.
Oh, we're wearing. Okay. I am wearing the Arisu. I will bring up the picture.
I'll look for it. You talk.
Okay. It's the Arisu by Svetlana Volkova. I knit this quite a few years ago. It's done in Luette Euroflax wet spun linen, which is unfortunately discontinued. I have to say I didn't like knitting with it because it is 100% linen. So I did not like the feel of it, but it is an amazing summer top. Like the linen is just like, you wash it, it just gets more drapey and soft. And like, I love wearing it, but I wish I could just have a better experience knitting linen. It's just not the feel of what I want going through my hands. So when I do a linen project, I'm obviously doing it for the finished object. I'm not doing it for the process of knitting it. So, and what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Cloud 9 tee by Andrea Yatman, and mine is also linen, and it was the Barocco Chai linen blend. I also did not enjoy knitting it because it's just hard on your hands, but
it is.
Having knit it, it's one of my most loved pieces. And today, like often I wear it with a dress, but today I'm actually wearing it kind of with some jogger style pants, higher waisted pants. And I quite like the way that feels for summer. And it's a lovely, very, very flowy, very drapey, boxy construction. And even today, wearing it the way I have, I mean, I wasn't at all warm. You just breathe so well in linen, and I love it. If I know that this yarn is discontinued as well, and if there were more of it, I would be tempted. There was a color, it was called like I don't remember what the name of it was called. I think this one is Tomatillo, but there was one that was actually almost like a deep, deep tomato red. That was my first choice. And the store was sold out of it, of course, because it was like a hot color. But if I could ever get my hands on that color, I would almost be tempted to buy back in again, knit another project that I didn't enjoy knitting, just to get this gorgeous garment after, or to get this feeling of this beautiful garment, because I absolutely love it now that it's done. Okay.
Oh, Isabel says she has one of these too, and she used Camera Rose Loveland 100% organic linen, and it was not a pleasant. It was not pleasant either. But it's just, I think, like just knitting with wool just feels so much nicer. It just slips through your hands. I find when I'm knitting with cotton or linen, my hand gets sore because I feel like I have to tension it tighter because there's no give in the yarn.
Right.
So
Which just makes me think the whole time you're knitting with it, you think, oh my gosh, what is this going to be like as a garment? It's not going to move at all. But I mean, there's a serious amount of stretch.
Well, it
But the
is, but
lovely thing, it doesn't stretch out. It holds its
no.
shape. It's
Or if
really,
it
really
does,
nice.
once you wash it again, it kind of sucks back in. So, because I know I've got a sweater that I did in Kestrel, which is Quince and Co, and it's 100% linen. Worsted weight is a chainette construction. It was okay to knit. I don't find it was as hard as this, but I know that it does grow a little bit when I wear it. But once I wash it again, it comes right back to the original size that it was.
Mhm.
So, but anyway, okay.
And
So,
Darcy is saying that she knit the salty air tea in chai,
mhm.
the same color as this. That would be a beautiful knit, Darcy. See, now you just make me want to do like a stash dive on people's stash and see if they want to part with their chai. I want to find that tomato color. Mm.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
put that thought.
you also have, don't you have a couple of more sets of that? You've got linen quill, you've got the merino linen blend. You could do use in all of those.
I wore my salty air tea yesterday, which was made with linen quill, and I have
Right.
to say it's nice, but this is nicer. This feeling
Okay.
of this is much nicer.
Well, you have to look at, do you want to knit with that again? Or do you want to knit with something that you like knitting
Well,
with?
no, but that's what I'm saying. I would be willing to knit another tee with this fabric just to get this feeling of a shirt after because I love this shirt so much. I just
Okay.
love it.
I always think that I do, and then I buy it and I never get around to it. Anyway,
Beverly has a tip.
I'm always going to choose a wool over a linen, but I force myself to do a couple of summer ones just to have them. So anyway,
Beverly is saying that she finds the square needles eliminate the hand pain when
okay,
you're working with linen.
I
I
might have to
haven't
try
knit with
that.
square needles. I haven't
I'll have
tried
to
that
try
yet.
that. So
Okay,
okay, so do you
moving
have any
on.
finishes?
Well, I do, but I don't know if you count it as a finish. So it kind of is because I set a goal for myself. So it's a finish for me. But how many do you have? I know you've got way more.
4.
Okay, you start and just squeeze me in between 2 and 3.
Okay. Okay, so the first one is socks. Whoops, I just knocked something down. Okay. So these are the Timber Yarns Twin Sock Marl in Cake Boss Brown. This is the last pair of adult male
Nice.
pairs that I have to make for Christmas. So I am very ecstatic about that. Really like how they turned out. The Marl just looks so good with the stripes in it. And so again, everybody's going to have a different color. So I'm looking forward to doing the picture at the end with all of the socks hanging up. So these are 72 stitch sock. Again, it's hard to see. I just did a little pattern down the side just so that I wouldn't be bored and it's easier to count stitches. And even though I do that, I still put the little light bulb markers in just to make sure I have the right number of rows. Yeah, so those are done. I actually even did the heels of them in the car right on the way home, and even Finchley grafted the heels in the car. So
Oh, I do that in the car all the time. It doesn't bother
do
me to
you?
do.
I
Yeah, I
don't.
can do that anywhere.
It doesn't bother me to do it. I just not ever done it before. So okay, and then I
Victoria's
finished.
reporting that there's lots of chai on eBay.
Okay, well, did you need to leave for a while?
You've got it
Okay,
covered if
so
I just sneak out, right?
okay, so the next thing that I've got, and I thought that I had a, well, it could be because I'm looking in Kelly's project instead of Noelle's project, so I can't find the banner for it. So I did another pair of the Tin Can Knits Antler mittens. So these are actually the large size. So this is like a men's pair, and this is done in the Barocco vintage. So the worsted weight one. And
I
like,
really like that pattern. I have to make
I
those.
really like this pattern. And you know what? I really like, I've done kids stuff in this, but this is really nice yarn.
I
Like,
know. I
I really
know.
like it. So
The
this
more
is,
I
I
knit
do
with it,
have,
the more I like it.
yeah. And this, and it, you know what? It, when I blocked it, it didn't stretch out nearly as much as most normal superwash stuff. So I was impressed by that. And there's just kind of a picture of what it comes like. So it comes in a ton of colors, like heathery colors, straight colors. You could do color work in it. It's a very cost-effective yarn. And when I was talking to Minot from La Violette, and she is also a Barocco rep, you know how Barocco on their ball bands, all the colors are numbers. They're going to start to put the color names on the bands.
Oh, yay. Yay. You mean we don't have to make up our own names for the colors anymore?
Isn't that
Lovely.
as knitters, that's something we get excited about, the color names. So they are going to be starting to put the color names. But yeah, so this is a sample for Little Red Mitten. I'm going to be dropping my my finished projects off for them tomorrow. And like this, you know, one skein, I think I still had about 30 grams left of the skein. Like one skein, like that's a really nice gift. And they're mittens, they're worsted weight. It's a quick knit. So
it's easy on your hands, friends. Very easy on your hands to knit with.
So
yeah, no complaints here. And I love how beautifully heathered all of their colors are. Like they are, to me, it looks as if they are, you know, like a much more expensive yarn than they are. Because, you know, often when we hear the word, I don't know, I don't want to say budget yarn, but it is definitely in the lower price spectrum, right? And then you start to think about, well, you know, it won't be great colors, or it's going to feel itchy on my hands or something like that when I work with it. But honestly, when I'm working with that Barocco yarn, it is flying through my needles off my hand, or off my needles through my hands, and the yarn feels amazing and it is so beautiful. Heather had Under the Bridge with her this past weekend. She was working on a couple of test knits using the Barocco, and I'm telling you.
Was it the vintage? Like the vintage?
Yes. It just looks like such expensive yarn. And the colors are so beautiful. And a lot of the shades pair really well together too.
Yep. So the vintage comes in, like this is the worsted weight. It also comes in a DK weight. It comes in a sock weight, and it comes in a chunky weight. So that's the same composition of the yarns. And I think a lot of the colors run the same through the different lines.
Yes. Yes. So if you, for instance, make a hat in this beautiful burgundy, you can make a pair of socks in sock weight yarn that will match as well, which is really nice because, you know, often from head to toe, we're using different weights in our projects.
Yeah.
So Brigitte is saying that she's made 5 cardigans now with the Barocco vintage DK. And I know you did a cardigan for one of your daughter-in-laws as well, didn't you?
Yep. Yep. And I've done some stuff for the kids in it too.
Yes. And Elizabeth made several snow globe hats in vintage. And she said they were beautiful.
Yeah, I did a snow globe hat in the vintage too.
Well, since we're on finished objects, then I do have a picture to pop in. This one was already finished, but since we're talking about Barocco, this is timely. So Mr. Miles was here for the weekend, and he finally got to try on and model his little sweater that I made him. And I have one that's a little bit closer up. We went to a park that's nearby, and I actually thought the sweater was going to be bigger on him than it was. It fit him beautifully. And I used all of the Barocco vintage DK for this pattern. Yes. And this is also a Claudia Hugh pattern from Uknit. And it was so much fun. It's bottom up. So not my favorite way to do a sweater, but it is really cool to do a sweater bottom up, because then when you get to the top yoke, which is
you got the fun
hands
part.
down, it's our favorite part, and it goes really quickly because you're going up to the neck. So the sweater fit him really well. Super soft, next to skin, everything. And it worked out great. So yeah, I totally support that Barocco yarn.
Okay. So my next finished object is this little hat. So this is Keith's cap, and I know I have a banner, and it's actually a free pattern by Estelle Yarn. So it's just got that little faux cable in it. So this is done in Barocco, not Barocco. Now we've got Barocco on the mind. This is done in Sand and Skarn double Sunday. So the double Sunday is, they call it a DK, but to me, it's almost, I got a picture of it here. It almost knits up more like a light worsted, right? About a 20 stitch gauge. So in a 50 gram ball, I think there's like 210 yards or 210 meters. But anyway, it's a really nice yarn. This one is 100%. It is 100% non-superwash merino. So I do really like it, but then you do have to be a little bit more careful in how you're going to handle it. So this color is one of the colors that's the petite knit version. So I think she did a collab with them, and there's several colors that are colors specifically that she designed with them. And if you look at a lot of her patterns, a lot of them are done in the Sunday yarns, the Sunday or the double Sunday. So I made that hat. This only took 26 grams.
Nice.
So of the 50-gram ball. So then I also made these little
mitts
to go with it. So these are loosely based on the faux cable baby mittens by Mariana Mel. Like I used it for the stitch count, and she did have the cables in there, but it was a little bit different in the decreases. So I wanted to do them to match the hat. And then I also reversed the cables on each mitt so that they were,
of course, why not,
balanced. So they were balanced.
Yes, balance.
Yep. So I still think, like, out of 150-gram ball, I've still got about 8 grams of that yarn left.
So again, what a great little gift.
Awesome baby
what a great little gift.
Yeah. Well, this is for my future grandson. So
yes.
And January, baby, it'll be perfect time to have the little hat and the mitts. And I love knitting with this yarn. Like, I had not tried the Sand and Scarn Sunday or double. I had knit with the Sunday because I did a sample for Little Red Mitten in it, but I'd never knit with the double Sunday. Like
I've not knit with that yet.
The Barocco is really nice too, but this is 100% non-superwash merino, and it's so soft and it feels amazing. Obviously, it requires more care. So, but I mean, he's hardly going to wear this for any length of time before it's too small. So,
right.
Okay, that was my 4. So you go now.
Okay, going back to the Barocco, Tammy's asking, she thinks, sometimes if yarn is cheaper, it will pill more. What do you find? I do not find that the Barocco has pilled at all.
No, and I don't find that that's necessarily a good judge, because I think sometimes a yarn will pill more if the ply in it is really loose. Or depending on the fiber. Like a lot of times, cashmere is a really expensive fiber, but cashmere is really prone to pilling because of the softness of the fiber.
Yes.
So
a lot of the merinos too. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't, and I know, because I think like a single ply merino is more prone to pill. Like that Barocco yarn's got a good twist in it. And as you saw in the antler mitts, like patterns really stand out well in it. So, but yeah. Okay, so Kelly, what do you have?
Okay, this doesn't look like a finish, but it's a finish for the month, because this is what I forgot to show last week when it was still September. So now I'm a month behind because we're in October, but for September, it was a finish. These are the socks that I'm working on. I'm tied up to something else here. I can't lift it. Just a minute. Stuck in my sweater. These are the Merry and Bright socks that Natalie designed the pattern for. And so I started these, and I'm doing them as an Advent by the month socks. So I've been knitting a color band a month on the 2 socks. And this is all using Knit Picks yarn, the Stroll in the various bright colors. And then the white is, or the cream color is the Lion Brand Sockies in Marshmallow, no longer available. And then the heels are the Stroll, and it's a glimmer. So it's very, very subtle glimmer. Not as glimmery as some of their other yarns. But these are so pretty. I'm really enjoying them. So I have just one more color to do for the foot and then the toe, and I will have a pair of holiday socks to wear.
So you just have like one more band of...
Yes, one more, because it's the same amount on the foot as there are on the leg, which is 5. So I've got this sort of magenta one to do down at the toe. So then So
you've got 3 months left, so you must be ahead.
Well, I knew that yes, but I had said, I don't know, do you count this as January? Where do you fit the heel in? What do you do with the toe? So I'm kind of some months ahead if I get ahead of it. But I also didn't want to wait until December to wear them. I wanted to have them done at least in, towards the latter part of November so that I can wear them through the month of December. Because I'm not just going to hang on to them.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
To wear for Christmas. I thought, you can wear merry and bright. You can even wear these into January. What the heck? But anyway, they're
December
very
1st.
pretty. December
Christmas
1st.
stuff, December 1st.
Yes. So, okay. So that's it for finishes. Trust
I have
me.
one more.
Oh, okay. I don't know how. Now I know why I took a little break from knitting when I had kids, because there's no knit time. When Miles was here, there's no knit time.
No. Okay,
Just
so this
playtime.
one is not, knitting, it's spinning. So I applied up this. So this is, it's a 80% BFL, 20% silk blend from Stitch Noir. And I have 160 grams. So yeah, it was fun. I love plying it because it's just like so neat to watch it come together. So I don't know. It was fun. Spinning's been a lot of fun. I've gotten back into it. I've got my wheel set up. I'm trying to do a little bit of spinning every day. And it's still a different fiber craft, but it kind of all blends together. So you have to start spinning, Kelly.
Yeah, I'll just add it to my list of things that I can't get accomplished now. It doesn't happen. But
okay, anyway. and then while we're on spinning, I'll just show you. I have my next one on the wheel, and this is the first time. This one is a tweed that I'm spinning, and I've never spun a tweed before. Where is it here? So this is a braid that I got at Little Red Mitten, but it's Crafty Jacks, like Crafty JAKS, and they do a lot of different fiber. Mm-hmm. So it's so cool.
I have some of their yarn.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
And this is, I'll show you what whoops. Okay, so this is so that's what it looks like. And it's got all the little like tweedy neps and stuff in it, but it's so pretty. So that's it's so much fun. It is. It's so much fun. So I've kind of divided it up. So I hope most of it's going to barber pole and get the colors kind of all come together. But yeah, so like I said, I'm trying to do at least maybe about an hour every day and see how far we can get with that. So
good.
But it was fun. So
I like it. I like it a lot.
I know. And anybody that wants to try it, you should try it. I always thought I'm never going to spin, like never. And I can't believe how addictive it is. So, but don't think it's going to cut down on your stash, because you're just going to have another stash.
Right. So then it's just another stash. I know.
That's right. A spinning stash, a weaving stash, a knitting stash.
And then also at this point, because I still don't have a lot of time to knit, I feel like, okay, well, if I tried to spin for an hour a day, well, that's an hour less knitting time I have, and I have less than 2 hours of knitting time a day. So that wouldn't help me much at all. But Sarah, our friend Sarah from London, has been so into the weaving, and you missed seeing her blankets.
She just put
she's been spinning, but she's been weaving up a storm on she's been weaving blankets, and she has very kindly agreed. I have some yarn for her, and she's going to spin it over the Christmas holidays into a blanket for me. And
she's going to
weave it. Sorry. Yes. Weave it. And, her sister Katie has been coming out knitting with us as well on Saturdays, the last couple of Saturdays, and she wants to learn to spin. So they were jokingly saying that Katie could learn on my blanket, but I want to go and see how they set it up. I maybe this is something I want to get into, but I like
to set up the loom.
Yes.
Well, you can go over and watch when I set up mine.
I know, but you keep saying that, but you don't weave anymore.
Yeah, I do sometimes. I just haven't this year yet.
Yeah. So anyway, she's been getting this loom, and I'm just really kind of excited to see a blanket in progress. So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yep. So.
Okay.
So whips.
I got whips, but only really 2 that I even put any work in on. How much did you work on yours this week? You had lots of time.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, you start again then.
Okay. Well, this one almost would have been an FO, but I just ran out of time. So these are the Coastal Drift mittens, and I'm pretty sure I still have a banner in here.
Haley wants to know if you get up at 4 now instead of 5 to get spinning into your schedule.
I think I need to. Again, I'm looking at your projects and I put these in here and not finding them. So these are the Coastal Drift mittens by Manon Jolet. And these are, I finished a pair of them last week, but the pair that I finished last week were done with Sand and Scarn Sunday, held with drop silk mohair. These are the same pattern, but these are done in just the Sand and Scarn double Sunday. And this color is called Blush Rouge. So there's the first mitten, and here's the second. And I'm dropping everything here. Wait, it's tangled
so
up.
Close, so close. Just missing
There's
a
the
thumb
second
tip.
one. I just got the thumb. I've got I think I've got 2 more rounds and then just to bind off the thumb, but I just ran out of time. But we will be eventually doing a giveaway for a couple of these kits, and we've actually got both. We've got some that are the silk mohair and the Sunday, and some that are the double Sunday. So the double Sunday ones, definitely, this is a nice thick yarn. The ones done with the mohair held feel a little bit lighter, but the pattern shows up just beautifully in this yarn. And this color I think is called Dusty Rouge, but it's really pretty color. And there's that stitch, and this pattern is just so much fun to knit.
I love that stitch.
Yep. And she is going to be, Manon is going to be, okay.
Oh, Haley,
Sorry.
You're right. It does. It looks like a fishtail braid.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
So Manoa is going to be at the PEI Fiber Fest, and she is going to have kits that have the pattern and the yarn. And so you should go see her there. And I think that she is going to release the pattern too. And when we have the kits to give away, we'll also have the pattern with it. So those will be done soon.
Soon.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe like in a half an hour tonight. Yes.
Maybe. So anyway, so that's the Coastal Drift mittens. And so what are you working on, Kelly?
I was really hopeful that I would have my sheep camp sweater done. It's not done, but I did work on it when we went knitting under the bridge. So I got a little bit more done. I really want to, I don't know why I'm saying this. I want to have a goal to have it done by next week, but seriously, with the amount of work that I have this week, and then I'm completely tied up this weekend with the fair. So yeah, there's going to be precious little knitting time, but like I have a sleeve done. I have most of a body done.
Good.
I know.
It looks
I
so
wanted
good.
to wear it to the fair this weekend because it's going to be cool enough to wear it. And I have pink clogs, friends, pink. And they're like the perfect shade. This perfect little shade of pink is the color of the clogs. And I really wanted to wear this to fair, but it's probably not going to happen. But anyway, I love this sweater. I love this sweater. And every time I try it on for a fit check, I'm like, this is my jam. This sweater, I get the draw that people have to this. And I get how people have knit like multiples of this sweater, because there's another one in my future. I want to knit a cropped one as well. This one's going to be longer for jeans, but I do want to knit a cropped one because I feel like this would look good with, I don't know, every dress I own. So I worked on that. Did you have some more things that you worked on? Because I worked on something else too. Okay.
I did.
You show another one.
So I got another pair of socks on the go. So these are, again, the Timber Yarns twin socks. So this is, now I'm into the adult ladies version. So this one is the pretty pink marl, and I just did a 1x1 ribbed cuff, and then I went into a 3x1 rib for the sock, just stocking stitch on the bottom. But I always love a rib sock because they always just fit so nice, but they always look so tiny when you just hold them up like that. But then when you stretch them out, because of the rib, they've got a lot of stretch in them. So I've got that sock done. All I've got to do on that one is put the heel in, and then the second sock is that far. So
I love those colors. I just love those colors.
I love this color. I know. I don't want to give these ones away. Just like you said last week, you didn't want to give the ones away, the pink ones.
I know.
I really do love those colors.
Yeah.
I might, yeah, I don't have time to knit socks for myself right at the moment. So. Okay.
WJ is asking if I mean the Brigden Fair. I do. Are you near us? I'm not sure who we're talking to. WJ Portlock. Yes, but it is the Brigden Fair. Who knew that somebody else would know? But the Brigden Fair is actually the biggest fair in Lambton County, and it's the final fair of the fall season, and always comes to a culmination on Thanksgiving weekend. And I'm helping out. I'm actually fair support this year. So I've been helping out at the office out there. And right now our hours are very long. Tonight's probably my earliest night that I got out of there. And after that, the nights just get longer. And then the fair actually opens up on Friday. So it's a very busy schedule, very busy schedule. But anyway, the other thing that I showed this last week, but I got quite a bit more done on it. And I'm at the point now where I get to start going off for the little bow. I'll show a picture of it because it still doesn't really look like much of anything. I'm just looking for the picture.
Here, I'll find it.
Okay. So it's called You Can Do Mint by Noelle Knits. And
I know I saw it in here earlier.
It is. It's a really hard one to find because it
okay, you talk. Okay.
Okay. So it's just the little lace headband, and it's not, for some reason, the picture didn't translate well either, but I can show you. So what I'm doing, I had a little ball of my, the Loving Path yarn in color Spruce Lee that I made my Willa sweater with. So I cast this on, and it's kind of clever the way you do it because you can use a provisional cast on, but I just did a Turkish cast on. So I still have live stitches in the center, and then you knit out. So I've gotten,
that's so pretty.
I think 7 repeats of this headband done now. So now what I need to do is, this is where I'll decrease, and then I will make that the little flap that ties in the knot. Now the pattern actually only calls for, I believe, 6 repeats, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've knit 7. I still don't think it's quite where it needs to be. So it seems to me that the either my gauge or the pattern gauge was just ever so slightly off, but that's okay. It really doesn't matter. You just have to knit to the halfway point. But I also don't think now, if I'm knitting these extra stitches, I don't know if I'll have enough because I only had 24 grams. So what I found in my stash is another yarn that's almost identical color to this. Like, I mean, really, really close. So what I may have to do is the provisional end that I cast on, I may be doing like a couple of repeats in that color. It's going to go at the back of my head anyway. Yeah. It's really not going to show. But I think this will be so pretty to wear with my Willa sweater because well, already wearing one. I wear headbands all the time. I don't know about the rest of you, but I get these little wispy baby hairs that are here. I don't like them touching my face, and they don't seem to want to stay up. And I look like, I don't know what, I look like I crawled out of bed by the end of the day. I've got these little baby hairs everywhere. So the headband, too much information, right? The headband just kind of tames everything and holds things in place for me. So I feel a little bit more put together. But this lace is so pretty. So pretty. So I'm enjoying that, but it's also not something I can just kind of do. It's lace. I have to look at the pattern, but it's fun doing lace, right? I like doing lace.
Okay, Kelly, what's the name of it?
You can do mint.
Did you have
MINT? A banner? I didn't have a banner.
Okay.
I can type it in.
Okay.
I had so the banner was attached to the picture.
Oh.
So there we go. You Can Do Mint by Noelle Knits.
Okay.
And it's a free pattern on Ravelry too.
So I did a little bit more work on my pressed flowers cardigan. So last time I was just at the split for the arms. So now I've got split. I've got one front done, and I've got a couple of inches of the back done, and then I'll just have the other side to do, and then the sleeves. But this is, I really enjoy it, but because it's all mosaic, it is slower knitting because it's 2 rows basically for every row, right? So this is the Pressed Flowers Cardigan by Amy Christophers. Let me just find that.
Looking for a banner? I'll find it.
Got it. Okay. And I am doing mine in my base color is Skeins Southlander in the color Dusky Heather. And then my flowers are the Knitting Loft Care in the color Frosted Sprinkles. So I've got a picture of what the yarns look like. So just got to find it. Okay, so the Southlander yarn is yarn that I picked up when I was in New Zealand. Southlander, or Skeins, is a yarn store in Napier, which is in the North Island. And it's a really cost-effective yarn. That's actually the same yarn that Kelly's using in her
Sheep Camp
sweater, except your color was a collaboration with Truly Myrtle, but it's the same yarn.
Yes.
It's just specific colors. This yarn goes on forever.
It does. I can attest to that.
It does. It's like,
I'm still only into my second ball, and I still have so much left, and I've knit most of that sweater now.
This is my second ball. Like, I'm barely into the second ball, and I'm already up to I've got one front done. It goes on forever. So, and it feels like it's rustic, but it still feels like it doesn't feel like Briggs and Little. I don't know how else to describe it. And I don't mind Briggs and Little, but this definitely feels a whole lot softer than Briggs and Little. And it comes in absolutely beautiful colors. So I know I've got a couple more sweater quantities of this, and I really enjoy knitting with it. And then, of course, the other yarn is one of my favorites. This is the Knitting Loft's Care, and the Care is 70% silk, 30% mohair. And it just the shine in the yarn, it just is. I really like I don't know. I just really like the way it looks like with this color. I like it in any color.
It's just,
but Janice, no, I don't find the yarn
they complement one another very well.
Yeah.
Like the woolly wool, the flatter yarn compared to the softness and the sheen of Care. It really brings a little something extra to that cardigan. It's gorgeous.
So now that it's getting into where I might actually be able to wear this soon, I'm more anxious to get it done. So
Janice, it's not prickly. If I'm wearing it, it's not prickly.
So, okay. Do you have any more whips?
Nope. Not that I actively worked on.
I have one more.
Okay.
So this is one I just started. I got to just reach over and grab it here. So, last week, I think we had talked about Beth McDonald Stone, and she's got a podcast out now, and she's got her second episode out. It's a great podcast. You should watch it.
I haven't seen the second one yet.
Beth is an amazing pattern designer, and I am doing a test knit for her for her latest pattern, as far as I know, the Calabash. And the Calabash,
I want to do that one too.
I have got a picture.
I think she says she doesn't need that one until January. It's not until January, or it's not until January?
I don't think so. Okay, so this is what the sweater looks like. Gorgeous. I love it. And of course it's top down, but I know all the patterns in the yoke, but that'll be good because when we go to knitting festivals, if I get down past that yoke, then it'll just be round and round knitting. So my yarn choices, and I will just show it to you here. Well, first of all, it's called Calabash. Calabash is a gourd. So I got a picture of it in here, a bottle gourd. So I did a little bit, I looked it up a little bit, and I know Beth talked about it a little bit on her podcast, but apparently if you harvest those when they're young, they can actually be eaten as a vegetable. But if they mature, I guess they hollow them out and they actually use them
for
as
bird
bottles.
Feeders and things.
Yeah,
for bottles, but I've seen them as bird feeders.
So, and they just
bird
look
houses.
Really cool.
Sorry, bird houses. Yes,
bird houses. Yeah. So the yarns that I'm going to do mine in. Come here, my mouse. Okay. So again, I've got the Knitting Loft Care, and this color is called Baby Doll. And then I've got Full Moon Fibers, and that is a Rambouillet yarn that I got last year when I couldn't go to their little pop-up that they had at Little Red Mitten because I had COVID.
I got that for you, right? So I had to, is that what I brought back?
I'm calling in going, I need to get this. Show me what this looks like. And so Kelly brought that back for me. So it is 100% Rambouillet. It is non-superwash, and it's a fingering weight yarn, but it's a woolen spun. So there's like 250 yards in 50 grams. So I've got the sweater started. So again, there's what my 2 yarns look like.
It's very
and
nice.
that's kind of blowing out a little bit, but it's got a lot of really pretty colors in it. And then
Is that the baby doll?
yes.
Yes.
And then here's what I have so far. It's hard to see it yet, but
very nice. I like that.
So yeah, so I've got a couple of the little like thicker stitches. So they all the little kind of bobbly things come at different places, kind of like on vines, and it's just, I think it's going to be really pretty. So now the thing is, it is reverse stocking stitch in between everything, and then the whole body is reverse stocking stitch. So I haven't decided. When I get down to the underarms, I think I might do Portuguese purling.
Okay.
So rather than, you can do short rows and go back and do it so that you're knitting. Like right now, because the little vines and the stitches are knit, I'm doing those in my left hand as my contrast color, and then my purl stitches in my right hand.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's and the this one here, the one from Full Moon Fibers, it's kind of a little bit tonal, like you can see up in there's just a little bit of variation in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really pretty. I really like it, and I love the feel of it, and I'm really enjoying it. And I started on this today, so that's why my mitten didn't get done. That's why my thumb didn't get done.
Anyway. We're terrible when we start something. You just don't want to put it down. You're like, okay,
that's all I want to do.
I just want to finish this, and then I want to get to this part. And when I get to that part, I'll stop knitting. But yeah. It doesn't work that way.
So Isabel, it's not brioche. It's just a combination of reverse stocking stitch and your contrast color in the knits. So, but yeah, Beth does have amazing patterns. Like I've knit quite a few of them and love them. So, and I am still working on another one of hers too. I didn't get anything done on that this week. That's the Starry Night, the one that I'm turning into a dress. But what I need to do is get done the sleeves in it in time for the knit along to be over. Like the dress, won't matter for that, but I want to get the sleeves done too. So, okay, that's all I've been working on.
Okay.
So, did you buy anything?
I did, but I don't have it here, so I can't show anything. But I did a little shopping. I thought my Hue and Me would be here. It might be at the post office box. I didn't make it home before the mail closed tonight. And then of course I order from the Knitting Loft. But
yeah, well, I have that either. But I might have bought a few other things. Well, first of all, there was a few things I have to show you.
I thought you had stopped at every store on the East Coast.
Well, yeah, but you can go twice. But first of all, I'm going to show you what Ross got at the
the felting kit.
Yes. Well, you didn't get a felting kit. So this is the card from, so it's Bonnie's, what does it say? They're Bonnie's Beasts.
Bonnie's Beasts and Birds.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is the card. Oh, where did I put him? Oh, this is what he got. It's so cute. It's a fox, like a needle felting fox.
Well, looks a little more like he looks a little bit more like an armadillo than he does a fox. He's very flat backed.
He looks like a fox that's in these paintings from this artist that we really like from. So that's in Prince Edward Island, and there's a lot of foxes in PEI. So he really liked that, and I really like it, and the kids are going to give him a name, and so that's what he picked up there. And then another thing that we picked up,
it's quite a bit bigger than Pearl.
Yes, yeah, Pearl better watch out.
He might eat her.
Another place that we went to this little gift store just outside of La Have, where we were staying in Nova Scotia, and I ended up getting this.
Oh, that's very nice.
So this is it is called The Barn in Bloomfield. And he does all sorts of boxes like this. And this one is specific for like knitters. So you open it up and I turn it like this. And you can see I've got like my needles, my glasses, all different little knitting things. And then this comes right out.
The tray lifts out.
Yep.
That is gorgeous.
Inside there's also like compartments to put all your different knitting things. So
very nice.
It's just instead of having these, just laying loose all over the couch, they're now all
But you don't like
contained.
sitting on needles and scissors? Come on.
No, they're now all contained in this beautiful box. And he actually does do like even little wooden baskets that are specifically called knitters baskets.
Mhm.
And I will link the I'll link the website, but just gorgeous work. So
It's beautiful.
pardon me, Ross? Oh yeah, he said that apparently when the Obamas were out in PEI or Nova Scotia or wherever, they actually got a couple of these to use for lunch boxes.
Okay.
Well, not that one specific, but there's ones with handles, and so they are really cool. So okay, and then okay, so the reason that I have more things is because we decided to come home. Well, we decided to leave for home a day earlier so that we wouldn't be doing a whole lot of driving, too many days of a whole lot of driving at once. So Ross goes, well, we'll go as far as Moncton. And I'm like, oh, Moncton's really close to Bucktouche, and like Menno Stores, just like 30 minutes from there. So we did the next day. We did go there again. I just texted her and said, are you going to be around? And we're going to come up to the store. So we went to the store, and she's just so nice. She made us cookies for our trip. So we had some homemade cookies for the car. And the reason I said, oh, well, I wanted to go, I'm like, Ross, she's got all of her pewter buttons on sale, like all of her buttons actually on sale for 50% off. And Ross is going, well, you can just order them. I'm like, yeah, but then I don't get to see her.
You don't get to see.
So I did buy buttons. So I've got a couple of pictures here of the buttons, and they're just gorgeous. And they're still on sale in her store now for 50% off. So if you think you need any, you should go check them out. But these are all, the 4 bottom ones are all Atlantic pewter. And they're just like gorgeous. And then the top one is pewter too, but I think it's Nordic buttons, the top one. Okay. So I got like sweater quantities of those buttons. And then I got these ones because these ones are tinier, but I thought the one with the little reindeer and the boy on it would be really cute buttons on a little boy's cardigan. And then I thought the other one would be cute on a little girl's cardigan. So I got those. And of course, while I was in there, you look at yarn again. And I had so much liked Ross's socks that I did in the fleece artist cottage socks. Those were the puffin ones. So I just picked up a couple more colors in that. So this first color, this is the Greenwich Dunes, which are in PEI.
Very nice.
So that was one color. And then this color.
Ooh, I like that one too.
And that one's called Mineral. And then this is actually this is still fleece artist, but I've never tried this before. It's actually called Tree Wool.
I have some of that. I have 2 skeins.
Do you have some of that? It's
in fact, it looks very suspiciously like that color too.
This color,
I'm positive I have that one.
This color is cedar.
I swear I have that. I think I have 2 skeins of it.
Anyways, but I thought that would make a really nice pair of guys' socks. So I'm really looking forward to trying that. And it's got the tencel. So the tencel is pretty strong. And it feels really soft. And then this is all fleece artist stuff that I got there. This is just a small fiber braid, like a 50-gram fiber braid.
Oh, you couldn't leave that there.
I couldn't leave that color there. Come on.
Gosh, no. Couldn't leave that there.
I don't see a color on it, but it's 100%
Hi, Bruna. Bruna just popped in. Yeah, you couldn't leave that. Absolutely.
No. And then the only other things that I got there, I got some these are tags by.
Oh, I am not just hoarding. Yes.
It says handmade. See, I'm not just hoarding.
No.
So I got a couple of packages of those. So
that's super cute. I love that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so I will link Minot's shop too, because she's got quite a few items on sale right now. The buttons are amazing. It is, yes, La Violette Yarn and Gifts, but I will link it below. Yeah, and she's got like just one of those shops where I could look around. You could be in there 5 times and then come in and see something that you missed the first time.
I find that though about so many yarn stores, don't
you? I know.
Like, okay, we went to Chicago. How many times?
I know, at Elgin. I know.
We go to Elgin Knitworks, and every time we'd go, oh, we didn't see this last time we were in. Well, we better grab some of that. I know. It's never ending. It's probably a good thing we don't live close to Bruna's store. That would be
I think so.
dangerous. I think
I'd have
that
to
every
buy
time.
a bigger house.
I know. I think about that every time I go into the Little Red Mitten too. Like that store just goes on forever. So
Yeah.
yes, Isabel is asking Bruna how you survived your weekend. Happy 5th anniversary. Oh my gosh, I bet you it was a busy weekend.
I bet it was.
Busy weekend.
Yeah, like crazy people ordering at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, 2 o'clock our time, Noelle.
No, it was 2 o'clock my time, so 1 o'clock your time.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So
yes.
But
and you know who else had a great weekend? You know who else had a great weekend? Because I went in and I checked on her too. Donna from Roots and Reeds.
Yep.
Sold out. Her shop is sold out. So congratulations, Donna. That's another beautiful line of yarn that we wholeheartedly stand behind.
Yep.
And
I only have one more sweater quantity of it.
I know it's sad that when our yarn is done, it's done, right? But maybe time and some healing is what she needs, and maybe those dye pots will come back out. So yes, absolutely. Okay.
So
I just wanted to go back. Okay. I wanted to go back to this comment. This was hilarious. Sarah says, so she was still looking for stores now that carry the Barocco chai, and she ended up buying a sweater quantity of Brooklyn Tweed Loft on sale from the stash lounge. How does that happen? Well, Sarah, I know exactly how that happens.
You just have to totally stay off social media.
But did you find chai? Did they have chai? I'm looking for that red color. Okay. Carol is asking if you made it.
I did go to Fleece and Harmony, and I did get some yarn there too. So I showed that last week. And let me tell you, people, space bags to bring your yarn home, the best. Like when you put that vacuum on that thing to suck out all that air, it's like I could go back and buy more yarn. Anyway, they will be coming. A couple of those will be coming to Rhinebeck with us.
Oh, Wendy says she bought quite a bit from Donna at Roots and Rains. Yes, her yarn is so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
So,
okay. What do we have left? I'm just going to look in here and see what else is left in there that we want to chat about.
But we still have right now, we're down to our sock Makealong, which we just did prizes for right now. So the next prize draw will be at the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
We also have our Smash That Stash. And again, we just drew for that. We have one more quarter to go on that. And then at the end of the year, anyone that's entered a project in all 4 quarters will be eligible for a grand prize.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've also got our Burl Cowl going on, and that's any Marie Wallen or Susan Crawford pattern. And there's a finished object thread in Ravelry for that. So.
Okay. So what are your plans this week? Are you settled back in yet? Have you seen all your people?
Well, I'm going to Little Red Mitten tomorrow because I have to drop off all the samples.
Because you didn't get enough.
I have to drop off all. Well, I get to talk to Jolene and Jillian and
we're
drop off all the samples.
Jolene and Jillian next week.
I know. I got to drop off all the samples though.
Yes. So next weekend, carry on.
And then I'm going to Jacqueline's to see Jacqueline and Mike and Zoe because I haven't seen them for like 6 weeks. So I am going to see them, and then Thanksgiving weekend. So we're having dinner on Saturday, and then we're all going to my son's house on Monday. So
very nice.
So it'll be a busy weekend.
Yes.
How about you? You've got the fair.
I have the fair, so I'll be at the fair all weekend. And I know that Marianne is coming to town and we'll be knitting with all of you on Saturday, wherever you may be knitting, and I will not be able to attend. So, but I believe Marianne is staying and going to Woolstock the following weekend. Did I get that right? I hope so. Because honestly, Marianne, we are friends who have never met. We just... Every time she's in town, I'm out of town, and she's not here often. So I really want to spend some time. So yes, she is going to Woolstock. Awesome. That's it's a date, Marianne. We are going to meet that weekend.
We're going to meet.
Yes. So. So and then as I said, we've got Woolstock next week. And then we've got Ryan back the following weekend. And I can't believe that is coming up so quickly too. It's just,
I know. It's like 2 weeks from Thursday we leave. Like
I
I just can't,
know.
I cannot believe we're in October. So.
Oh, Darcy has found some red. So I'm going to mark that down, Darcy. Prairie Lily Knitting. Okay. I had a great weekend with Kendall and Miles here. And I just have to say, we had the best weekend. So we kind of knew this might happen. He's just shy of 2. So he understands what goodbye means now. And if he's not in the mood for a goodbye, it could be difficult. And of course, Kendall and I have this long established history of awful, awful, tearful, sad looking goodbyes. We always do this. But so we get to the airport. The whole trip, the whole returning Miles and Kendall back to the airport was terrible. We had him loaded in the car. Kendall was standing outside the car saying goodbye to her sister-in-law. And lo and behold, I look over because I was going to sit in the back seat with Miles to give Kendall a little break up front. I look over and he just starts to scream and there's a wasp. He had been bitten right on the earlobe. And we actually think he might have gotten bitten in one other spot too, because he was sitting back there. He had a little cup with some dried mango in it. And I'm sure the wasp was all over that. So that was terrible thing one. So we had to go though. So I grabbed ice and a wet washcloth and off we go. He settled down in the car. We get to the airport. He was feeling pretty good by then, but his ear, he looked like a little prize fighter. It was like the cauliflower ear. It was bright red and sticking straight out from his head. And anyway, so we get through that. We get into the airport. He's pretty happy in the airport. He's running around doing his little guy things. And then it's time to get on the plane. He has 2 little things that fit in the palms of his hands. He is all about Toy Story. So he has a little Buzz and a little Woody, and he carries these 2 things everywhere. Sometimes he tucks a book under his arm of Toy Story. And then I bought him a little backpack thinking he could keep all of his treasures in the backpack, but no, he just wants to carry the backpack. So off we go, and it's time for them to leave. So she's like saying, okay, say goodbye to Gigi and Pappy. He's not having it. No. So Kendall starts to cry. I'm giving her a hug and she's like, I'm trying to hold it together. I don't want him to see me upset. And then he got more upset. And then he starts like screaming and he's like, gee, Pa. And he's got his Buzz and his Woody. So she's got to go. She goes through the security gate. I can still hear them in there crying. And I thought, this is terrible. So I'm crying. It's a mess. It's a wet mess. So I start to leave and I say to Mike, no, I can't leave yet. We've got to go back. I need to see them go through security. So he can't see us. He's finally stopped crying. Lo and behold, the next little tragedy, they get to security and they have to take the Buzz and the Woody and the backpack from him. And then the screaming starts again. She's still upset. And the lady behind her is trying to help. And she's like, this is the hottest mess that has gone through security today. She's sure. But anyway, they made it home, made it just fine. His ear is completely fine. And it was the hardest thing. Breaks your heart. Like they just don't get it. But as soon as they got home that night, he FaceTimed from the tub and he was all smiles again. So it was short-lived, but it's just hard. It's really hard to be that far away from your grandchildren. So I know it was hard for you just for a month, but that's something I go through on a regular basis. Imagine. So it's so sad. So anyway, that's that.
I have a fruit fly flying around me.
I have a fruit fly here too. And I want to keep swatting at it. And I don't know how it got down here. There's certainly nothing down here for it.
Yeah, I don't have any wine. I just have water.
Yeah, I have water as well. Anyway. So okay.
Well, so we should say bye.
Yeah, as Klaska says, goodbyes are so difficult. Yeah. Well,
they are.
We won't be crying when we say goodbye here tonight because we'll be back next week.
We will be.
So
we hope you all have an amazing week. If you're celebrate Thanksgiving, we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And hope you have lots of knitting time and crafting time. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we will see you next week. Happy knitting.